Hi and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you the best cheap forwards in FPL this season. Now if you enjoy my content, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, but now let's get into it. Okay, so as I said before, today we're going to talk about the best cheap forwards in FPL this season, and to be more specific, we're going to talk about these forwards you see on the list right here on the screen who are under 7 millions. Just Evanilson is 7 millions, but I need to be honest with you, when I try to make this list today to choose some really decent forwards at this price point, I found it really difficult because, to be honest with you, after 7.5 millions there are a lot of options until 40 millions, which is Haaland. But if you want to buy a really cheap forward in your FPL team, maybe you need the cash, it's going to be really difficult because all these forwards have some little problems attached to them. Now before jumping and talking about these players, first I want to show you the fixtures for these teams to make a clear image about which players are going to have the easiest fixtures, obviously, to start the season with. Now, as you can see here, I selected a game week range between game week 1 and game week 8. Obviously, you can play around it if you want. This is Fantasy Football Hub, so you can try it for free if you want. Also, you have a link in the description in this video. But as you can see, the fixture rating for these 8 teams: the first one, Sunderland, Wolves, Bournemouth, Everton, Leeds, Brentford, West Ham, Brighton. So again, maybe these things could help you a little bit if you know what I mean. Maybe you're undecided between someone like Strand Larsen, between someone like Evanilson. Maybe these things are going to help you a little bit to choose your perfect player for game week 1. This is what we're trying to do, obviously. Now if we take a look on these fixtures, I selected also the easiest attacking fixtures from game week 1 to game week 8. So you can select here the overall, you can select for defensive fixtures. So it really depends what you're really interested in, but now we're interested in forwards. And Sunderland, obviously we all know that they have really great fixtures overall to start the season with, but not a lot of people are going to buy players from them. Now we're going to talk about that player, 4.5 million forward from Sunderland, in a minute, but the fixtures are great. Let's just look at game week 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. So West Ham, Burnley, Brentford, those are great fixtures for Sunderland, to be honest with you. West Ham and Brentford at home, and also they're going to play against Burnley away, so that's nice. For Wolverhampton, they are going to start against Man City, Bournemouth and Everton. As you can see here, the second place for Wolves has a little bit of a question mark for me, at least, because Manchester City is a tough fixture. Bournemouth away, I know that they lost a lot of defenders, but still they are a decent side playing at home, and also Everton are a good defensive side. So it really depends how you see these things. It doesn't really need to be like you see on the screen, but again, it's really helpful to try to see the best fixtures for all the teams. Bournemouth, they are going to play against Liverpool, then Wolverhampton, Spurs, it's really nice. Everton are going to have decent fixtures, Leeds, Brighton, Wolverhampton, and the list goes on. Now we can move again to my list, and let's start with the first player on this list, which is Thiago Igor from Brentford. So I know that, guys, probably you're already bored of me talking about Wissa and Mbeumo, but the thing is, Mbeumo transferred to Manchester United, and I need to mention those things. And Wissa, it's looking like he's going to move from Brentford. So Thiago Igor, if you don't know already, probably is going to be the main striker from Brentford. Now we need to know if they are going to do something in the transfer market, but at the moment he's playing in the preseason. Probably he's going to be also on penalties. We are not 100% sure of that, but probably he's going to be, because they have other players. They have Shade, they have Carvalho, but I think that Thiago Igor is going to be on penalties. So again, at 6 millions, he's going to be a really interesting option. Now, if you look at his stats from last season, it doesn't really matter. He played 1 or 2 games, something like that. So obviously he scored just 0 goals, and his non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes are horrible. But as I said before, the fixtures are not amazing from Brentford to start the season with, but they are mixed a little bit. So they are not ranked 20 place or something like that, but also they are not ranked in the first in the top 5. But as you can see here, the expected points for Thiago is 33.8, which is decent. Again, it really depends what you're looking for. Maybe you have someone like Haaland, maybe you have someone like Watkins, and in that case probably you're going to need at some point to have a cheap option in midfield or maybe in attack. And what we're trying to do here is, if you're going to buy a really cheap forward, at least you can make sure that he's going to get good minutes. Maybe he's going to be on penalties, and also maybe he's going to get good fixtures. So that's all what we can ask really, because these players are not going to score goals like someone like Isak, like someone like Wirtz, like someone like Mohamed Salah or Haaland, etc. But they are good enablers, and obviously we should try to find the best ones. Now let's pretend you're specifically looking for a 6 million forward. For an example, you don't have any more cash and you really want a 6 million forward. Here, from my point of view, you have really two good options in Thiago and Fullkrug. Now at the moment I'm leaning towards Thiago. I know that Brentford probably are not going to be the same like they were last season with Mbeumo, Wissa. Those two were a great combination in FPL but also in real life. So again, I know that a lot of people are expecting Brentford to get relegated or something like that, but I just don't think that's going to be the case this year, and I think that we can see some good value players in them. Carvalho, maybe someone like Shade, maybe someone like Thiago could be decent options, but as I said before, all these things are going to depend if Brentford are going to do something in the transfer market. For an example, if they are going to buy another number 9, then suddenly Thiago is not going to be anymore an FPL option. But ignore the stats for last season. He didn't play a lot of games. He played 2 games or something like that, and we need to see. He played decent in the preseason. He scored some goals, so I think that's going to be a decent option. But now let's move to the second one, which is Welbeck from Brighton. At the moment, I need to say that there is a question mark about him because he missed the last preseason game for Brighton, I think, if I'm not wrong, and also maybe there are some injury doubts about him. So that's why I'm not 100% sure on Welbeck at the moment, because we need to get more information to see if he's going to be fit, obviously, for game week 1. Now, if you see the fixture rating difficulty, Brighton are not going to have really easy fixtures from game week 1 to 8, as you can see from the screen. But with Welbeck, João Pedro is out. He transferred to Chelsea. He's going to be probably on penalties. His minutes probably are going to get better. So yeah, Brighton transferred in another Greek forward, I think, but I just don't think that he's going to be competition for Welbeck. I think that he's going to be the starter for Brighton now, if we assume that he's going to be fit. As you can see from the screen, from last season he scored 10 goals, and that's without penalties. I think that maybe he took 1 or 2 when João Pedro was not on the field, but obviously now he's going to be on penalties. And as you can see here, this data, non-penalty expected goals, is not taking into consideration the penalties, and that way we can see how these players are performing without taking obviously in consideration a penalty, because if he was scoring penalties, that would be a little bit of cheating for the XG. Now at that price, I really like Welbeck. I really like how they price him. 6.5 millions, you don't have a lot of really good options at that price. One of them you can see on the list is Strand Larsen, but again, although the fixtures are not amazing, Welbeck has a decent XG per 90 minutes last season. He's going to be on penalties probably. He's going to get more minutes, so I think that he's going to be a decent option, but assuming that he's going to be fit for game week 1, because as I said at the start of the video, a lot of these strikers have some question marks attached to them, and yeah, we need to consider which one are the best. Now if we talk about Evanilson, here we don't have any question mark. Probably he's the best option on this list, but as you can see, he's also 7 million. So again, a really tough place to be between 6.5 and 7.5, but I just didn't saw a lot of forwards at 7 millions, and it is a difficult price point to judge at the moment. But as you can see, we can judge how Evanilson was last season. He scored 10 goals, the same amount as Welbeck. His non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes was amazing last season, 0.45, so almost 1 goal per 2 games, something like that if we do it roughly. Now the fixtures for Bournemouth are decent, as you can see, 7th place here on the fixture difficulty rating. The only problem about Bournemouth is that they are going to play against Liverpool away in game week 1, so that's why I think that a lot of people at the moment are not considering Evanilson as a real option in their FPL teams, and he's going under the radar a little bit. But as you can see from the predicted points from game week 1 to 8, he's predicted to score the most points, so 38.4. I just think that he's going to be a decent option at the moment. Also, Kluivert is not playing in the preseason for Bournemouth, so we don't know if it's something of an injury or something else. But if Kluivert is not going to be on the pitch, we know that probably Evanilson is going to be also on penalties. So again, if we would know 100% that Evanilson would be on penalties, probably I would go with him in game week 1, and it doesn't really matter that he's going to play against Liverpool in game week 1, because you're picking a team for game week 1 who is going to be decent at least for game week 1 to 6, 1 to 8, something like that, 1 to 10 maybe. So it doesn't really matter that those players are going to have tough fixtures in game week 1. Maybe if you're bench boosting, maybe then you're going to care a little bit. But if we talk about Strand Larsen, another player with a difficult fixture in game week 1, Wolverhampton are going to play against Manchester City. So 6.5 millions, the same as Welbeck. At the moment, I would pick him because we have some injury concerns about Welbeck, and that's the only problem about him. Now, the fixtures also for Wolverhampton, as you can see, are ranked 4 on this place, although they're going to play against City in game week 1. Not the best fixture, but if City are going to play like they played last season in the first part, we know that they conceded a lot of chances. Now, don't get me wrong, I honestly think that Manchester City are going to improve this season. I think that they are going to be better defensively and attacking wise also, but still, there's nobody else who can say that Strand Larsen can't score against Manchester City. So obviously, that could happen. Now, Cunha is gone for Wolverhampton, so obviously that's going to diminish a little bit his appeal. He's not going to get so many chances to score goals. Because Cunha was an amazing creator, but obviously Wolverhampton transferred in other players, someone like Arias, who we know that is going to be creative. So again, at that price, as you can see, he scored 14 goals last season, the most on this list. If you don't take into consideration Piroe, who was playing in the Championship, his expected non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes last season was 0.35, so decent. And also what I missed to say about Strand Larsen, probably again he's going to be on penalties. So as you may know, I love players who are on penalties. A lot of these players probably are going to be on penalties at some stage in this season, and also he's predicted to score a lot of points from game week 1 to 8. So I really like Strand Larsen, I really like Welbeck. Depending on which one is going to be fit, maybe one of them is going to be also in my team for game week 1. Now again, as I said before, depending if you want to bench boost in game week 1, maybe you're not going to pick all these players who are going to have tough fixtures in game week 1. But even if you're bench boosting in game week 1, to be honest with you, you want your bench boost out of the way. I understand that, but again, even if you bench boost with one player like Strand Larsen against Manchester City, it's not the end of the world, because you're going to have him for the good fixtures after that in the future. So that's also a good plan. Now, if we move forward, if we talk a little bit about Fullkrug, he scored some goals in the preseason from West Ham. He's just 6 millions. Again, at the moment, I would prefer someone like Thiago, to be honest with you, because we know that he doesn't have that injury record. Let me just say it like that, like Fullkrug. Now, again, at West Ham, there are good players like Bowen, Paqueta. They lost, obviously, Kudus to Tottenham, but again, it is really tough for me to judge someone like Fullkrug based on last season. So I would say that you should ignore these statistics, because he scored just 3 goals. He's non-penalty expected XG per 90 minutes was 0.23, so not amazing, but he didn't play a lot of games for West Ham. We know that Bowen played as a forward for the last 10 or 15 game weeks last season. So yeah, the fixtures also for West Ham are not great from an attacking perspective, because they are going to play teams like Nottingham Forest, like Everton, like Chelsea, who are really tough defenses to break. And I'm just not sure about Fullkrug at the moment, but I know that he's a really popular option at the moment on Twitter and on X, and a lot of people are trying to find that really good 6 million forward, but I'm just not sure about Fullkrug, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe I'm mad, maybe not, but I just don't trust maybe his fitness at the moment. So I really want to see a full fitness Fullkrug playing for West Ham, but I'm just not sure if I want to start my game week 1 season with a player who maybe is going to get injured at some point. And now I know that these things don't work like that. So if Fullkrug was injured for a lot of time last season, it doesn't mean that he's going to get injured again. Obviously, I know that, but again, it is tough at the moment. From this list, probably I think that the first 4 are the best options at the moment: Thiago, Welbeck, Evanilson, and Strand Larsen. And then obviously, if you want really a forward from West Ham, you're going to go for Fullkrug. But yeah, as I said before, the fixtures are not great. He's not predicted to score a lot of points. And yeah, probably he's going to be nailed to play for West Ham as long as he's going to be fit. But yeah, let's move to the next one. Beto, another player with a question mark on his name. Now, why I say that is because Everton have another forward here, which I could have included him on the list. It is Barry. He's 6 million, so he's a little bit more expensive than someone like Beto. The thing is, we don't know at the moment who's going to start, and even if Beto is going to start the first fixtures for Everton this season, we don't know if he's not going to lose his plates at some point. And surely if you're picking a team for game week 1, you don't want suddenly your player to be a bench fodder. But again, 5.5 millions, I think that he could be amazing value if we knew 100% that he's going to start in game week 1 and also play 90 minutes, close to 90 minutes every game, because yeah, probably he's not going to play 90 minutes every game. Sorry guys, I just corrected my mistake. So when filming, I saw that Beto was scoring 2 goals and I was about to talk about that, but obviously I knew that he scored a lot more goals, so I was a little bit surprised and I corrected that. So Beto scored 8 goals last season. Obviously his non-penalty XG per 90 minutes last season is the best on the list, as you can see here, so 0.46. So again, he would be a great option. I think he's going to play also against Leeds in game week 1, so a really nice punt for game week 1, even if you're bench boosting or not. He's predicted to score a lot of points on game week from game week 1 to game week 8, but obviously that's depending if he's going to play those games, right? So again, I think that there is a chance Barry is going to take his place at some point. He wasn't amazing in the preseason at the moment for Everton, so that's why I think that it is a risk at the moment, and I'm not sure if I would go for him. But yeah, if we find out that he's going to start, maybe Barry is going to get injured or something like that, or we find something from David Moyes that Beto is going to be the first choice number 9, then yeah, I think that he's a decent option if you want him in your team. Now, if we talk a little bit about Guiu, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, so sorry if I got that wrong. 4.5 millions. The dream in FPL is to have 4.5 million playing forward. Now, guys, try to temper your expectations a little bit. I know that I put him on the list, on this list with the best cheap forwards in FPL, but I want to also talk a little bit about this forward, so I want to be realistic about it. And yeah, 4.5 million sounds amazing for Guiu. I know that he played decent for Chelsea in the European competitions, but we just don't know if he's going to be a starter for Sunderland at the moment. So as long as we don't get any information from the coach or from a preseason game that he's going to take some good minutes from the other strikers at Sunderland, I just don't think that he's going to be a decent option. Now again, if you're playing a 3-5-2 and you just want a bench fodder, then you can start with Guiu 100%. Maybe at some point he's going to be a starter for Sunderland, so that's a good idea. But also, if you don't want to take a risk, there is that risk that a lot of people are going to buy him. His ownership is going to be huge by game week 1, and after that we find out that he's not going to play a lot of minutes, and obviously he's going to be sold and he's going to drop in price, so you're going to lose some value. So it really depends on how big a risk you want to take. Now let's see if Guiu is going to play some games in the preseason, but at the moment I just think that he has the potential to be an amazing option at that price, 4.5 millions, but at the moment he is not quite there yet. Now if we talk about the last player, to be honest with you, I tried to find other players, but there aren't really a lot of good cheap forwards under this price point, obviously under 6 millions, under 5 millions. So Piroe from Leeds, here you can consider also Fleming, but again, I picked Piroe here. Probably both of them are going to be on penalties for Leeds, respectively for Burnley. He's 5.5 millions. He scored 19 goals in the Championship, but obviously that stat doesn't really matter in the Premier League. That's not going to translate into goals in the Premier League. So obviously he's going to play against tougher oppositions. The fixtures are decent for Leeds, but to be honest with you, although if you really want to go with him, that's fine and I get it. But if you really want to go with the 5.5 million forward, I understand that. And obviously maybe you think that Leeds are going to be a really good attacking side in the Premier League this season, then just go with it. But again, probably I would go for someone like Beto for the safety at the moment, although I talked about Beto not being the safest option on this list. Now let's see if there are also other good cheap forwards in FPL this season. So real short, I want to take a look to see if we can find any other other really decent forward options in FPL for our Game Week 1 squads, and also we're going to do that again on the Fantasy Football Hub. All the stats you saw in my video are from this site. They have a lot of tools, and as you can see here, we're going to look the forwards under 7 millions. You can see the predicted points for every game week here for the players. Obviously, you don't need to be on the same page with every pick here with the site. For an example, with Beto, I don't think that he's going to play 90 minutes every game week from game week 1 to 8. So as a matter of fact, I don't think that he's going to score 35.9 points, but they have a lot of tools. It is really useful. You can try it for free. You can have your team rated for free, your draft for game week 1. So yeah, for me, it is really helpful. Now again, if you're going to find it useful, you can then buy a membership. They have a big discount at the moment. You have the link in my description. But let's move to the forwards. As you can see, we talked about these forwards: Evanilson, Beto, Strand Larsen, Thiago, Welbeck, Mayenda, another player from Sunderland. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if he's going to be on penalties. I think that maybe Enzo Lefebvre is on penalties. Please correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, but that's why I didn't put him on my list. So again, 5.5 millions. The fixtures are really good for Sunderland, so he could be a decent option at some point. If you really want a 5.5 million forward, then yeah, Mayenda, Piroe could be decent options. Raul Jimenez is a player I didn't really talk in my list. Now that's because the fixtures for Brighton are not amazing if we're talking about attacking output, because I don't really like the first fixture. So Brighton, Man United and Chelsea, it's not amazing. Now I know that Man United were really bad last season, but it doesn't mean that they are not going to improve this season. After that, Leeds, Brentford, Villa, Bournemouth, Arsenal. Let's just say the fixtures are a little bit mixed, but again, I just don't think that at the moment Raul Jimenez is a better pick than someone like Welbeck on Strand Larsen, so that's why he wasn't on my list. Fleming, as I said before, another really good option if you want a forward from a newly promoted side. 5.5 millions. He's on penalties, I think. Also, the fixtures are not great for Burnley. That's the problem. So Spurs and Sunderland is decent. Man United okay. Liverpool, Forest, Man City, Villa. It's not amazing. And then Leeds in game week 8. Wilson, he just transferred in for West Ham, so again, I'm not sure that, I'm pretty sure that he's not going to get 90 minutes every gaming. He also has a bad injury history, and again, he could maybe take some minutes from Fullkrug if he's going to be fit. Maybe he could be also on penalties, we don't know that, but at the moment he's not an option. Højlund and Zirke, two players from Manchester United, at the moment it's looking like they are pushing to buy someone like Sesko. I'm not sure if they didn't sign him already while I'm recording the video, but I just don't think that Højlund and Zirkzee are amazing options in FPL. I think that you can find better options from Manchester United if you really want to buy some players from them, like Cunha, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, Darwin Núñez definitely is going to leave Liverpool probably this season, so he's not an option. Fullkrug, again, we talked about him. Muniz, I'm not sure at the moment. I think that he's going to leave Fulham, but we need to see at which team he's going to end up, and then maybe he's going to be a decent option at 5.5 millions. If also he could get penalties at that team, that would be amazing. Also, Nicholas Jackson, one to keep an eye on if he's going to leave Chelsea, probably. That's what we know at the moment. And if he's going to transfer into the Premier League, also he could be a decent option at 6.5 millions, to be honest with you. And then Obi, Richarlison, Isidore, again, he played for Sunderland in the Championship. Probably he's going to start. Also, we need to see what they are going to, how they are going to line up with Mayenda, Isidore, and also Mark Guiu. So again, I would not consider him at the moment. Also, Nemecha could be an option, but I wouldn't go here. So again, from now on, I don't think that these options are reliable for FPL. Timas, no. Barry, maybe at some point if he's going to be a starter. Nketiah, no. Delap, he has competition with Joao Pedro, so again, you don't really want a player who's not a starter for your team. And after that, yeah, Osula, Scarlett, Redmond, these names speak for themselves. I don't think that they are going to be decent options. Krupi for 4.5 millions could be an option at some point if he's going to get some minutes, but I think that's it for today, and I think that it is enough. Thank you so much for watching this video this long. It really means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. Now, if you enjoy my video, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye. Bag pura lor, când mă întreabă oamenii de unde sunt le zic de va. Apoi îmi bag pura